Definitely lost something for sure.
Thursdays always start with a little bit of giggle. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Positivity Report. It's a Thursday, our first ever appearance by Drew Dorsey
Yay!
on the show.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Just the
Excited.
best.
So exciting.
Walks in here neon green to match my pastel orange to then be sandwiched in the middle by Sinead's all black attire.
I had a feeling.
Subtle.
I was
Yeah.
like, I need to make sure I'm balancing it out.
Sure.
I have a feeling they're gonna look like highlighters today.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, you guys look great. You
Well,
guys look
thank
very
you.
bright and sunny this morning.
Glowing, if you
It's a
will.
good day.
Drew said that I was glowing this morning.
He has that like new baby
glow, yeah. I think that's
new
sweat.
dad glow. Yeah. That and I got a blister breaking down boxes. Because that's the one thing they don't warn you about babies. People just keep sending you gifts and they all come in boxes. And then you got to break them down, jam them in the recycle. I got a blister doing it.
Oh.
I retired a 12-year-old couch last night. We got a new couch.
I see that
Wow.
Amanda moved that couch all by herself.
Well, here's the thing.
I was like looking at that couch. I was like, what?
She a badass bitch.
How did she do that? She was like, also, Josh isn't home yet, so I decided to move this couch. And
Oh
I
my
was like
God.
looking at
Yeah.
it, and I was like, how did she get that couch?
I also
to the
came home and
street?
sort of yelled at her. I was like, you're 2 months out of a C-section, okay? We don't need you, like, busting the seams. As I said, she's
Ooh.
like, I don't think that's the proper terminology. But,
Superwoman.
no, here's the thing. She hated that couch so much. I'm sure she
Yeah.
got so much joy kicking it into the front
her
yard.
adrenaline kicked in just
Yeah,
knowing
just,
it was
"Oh, I hate
something
this effing
in the
thing."
apartment.
F this couch.
She said to me on our first date, she's like, I bet you have a brown couch in your apartment. I was like, how the did you know that? She's like, you just seem like a guy with a brown couch. All guys have brown couches.
That's very true.
It is
And
so
so-
true. All guys
we
have
go.
brown couches.
And like a mattress on the floor.
I didn't have a mattress on the floor, but I did have a low box spring.
Just guys I date cool.
Yeah,
I think that's a red flag, Drew. If
It's
you go in
guys
and there's a
don't
mattress on the
see-
floor.
They don't see the necessity of having a box spring. Like they don't look at a bed and be like, you know what, this is missing, a box
Right.
spring. They just think that like the most important part of the bed is the mattress, not realizing that it makes you look like a slob if you
Totally.
don't have a
Trash.
box spring.
Every time in college I had a mattress and like a box spring stacked, but it was on the floor. I didn't have a bed frame. My brother came in. He's like, listen, I know you're in a
Yeah.
fraternity,
See?
Yeah.
but you need to put something under there. So I just put like
Yeah.
wrote like
You
with
popped
books.
your Lacoste
is that
collar and
about?
tied your Sperry's and
Right.
you're like, hey,
First of all,
Your rainbow flip-flops.
First of all, thank you. Of course they're
Don't
rainbow.
be proud of that.
Okay. Second of all, nobody ties their Sperry's. Okay.
I know.
They come pre-tied,
They
or
come
you wear the
pre-tied.
slip-ons.
They come pre-tied.
Drew,
You are right.
Dude,
I
Sinead.
did have a pair of Sperry's, and I am so ashamed of it because I lived in Illinois and I didn't know any better.
Sperry's.
Yeah.
I don't know
They're
what
like the
that is.
They're
docksiders, the boat
boat
shoes.
shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At my high school, everybody had those rainbow flip-flops.
Yep.
Everybody.
You grew up on the East Coast, right?
No, I grew up NorCal, Napa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Sinead yelled at me because, well, Amanda too. I have rainbow sandals, obviously, and I think jeans and flip-flops are still acceptable.
Mandals.
They're not mandals. They are rainbow leather flip-flops.
Whatever they are, they're a no for
Okay.
me.
It's unbelievable.
That's
Anytime I would see Josh
disrespectful.
wearing flip-flops, I would literally like death stare at him.
Yeah.
I hate
Like-
boy feet. Oh my God, I hate boy feet.
I've heard this before. I've heard
Ooh.
the hate.
They are
thing.
called slippers and not sandals.
He's from
Are
Hawaii,
those
though.
Hogwarts?
Oh, well, that's-
flip-flops?
No, they're like Rasta Hawaii ones.
Oh, they kind of look like they were Hogwarts.
Then
Then they would have been acceptable.
We call him the Hawaiian hunk, the great hunkino, the Prince of the Islands, Aloha Friday.
Oh my God, what an honor to be in your presence.
I know, really,
This is
truly.
exciting. He's got
You're
some
welcome.
dope ass shoes
I found
on.
out if I go to Hawaii, I can't bring houseplants back.
Yeah.
And that made me sad, and I don't know if I want to go.
Sinead, anywhere she goes, she's like, well, I'm gonna cut that plant. I'm gonna cut it to take a stem home.
It's like me
I
driving
did-
by a golf course. I'm like, stop the car. I just want to look at it for a little
Yes, I made
Yeah.
no stop on the side of a freaking mountain like 2 days ago.
bit. Yep.
Yeah, and
Cut that plant.
he was like, "What?"
Cut
and
it.
I was like, back up," and he backs up, and I was
Yeah.
like, "You got your work scissors?" And he's like, "Are you kidding?" And he got out and he cut these giant like succulent trees down for me. We planted them that night. I was
Just
so
keep
excited.
shears in your backyard
I
or
was
in your
just
car.
gonna say,
Nils does because he knows
there like
how
a
I am.
machete in his
Because
back?
Right,
I
just
think
ready.
to him, he knows that it's way worse to not have the shears
Mm-hmm.
because if we go somewhere and I see something I really like and he can't cut it, then I'll just be like, dude, like I will not let go. Like we have to go back.
Get that
But yeah,
tree.
so
It's kinda
that's
like-
where I'm at.
Yeah, we all have our obsessions, right? You know, back when I was 12, it was Stussy apparel. Then clearly it became rainbow sandals, which you guys are judging me on. Then it was listen, I've had my obsessions. I don't think I've got to the houseplant thing just yet. Never really understood the love of vegetation, and I think it's mostly because my mom was such a gardener, like Green Thumb, that she was like, if you get in trouble at school, you got to pick weeds. And guess who got in trouble at school a lot? This dum-dum. And so I had to pick weeds out of the garden.
Specific.
That's such a good.
And she would like stand there on the deck and be like, you missed one. There's more weeds there.
You're like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
But here's how I got my mom back. Totally by accident. Didn't realize it was going to happen. I had a lot of parties in high school. Pittsburgh, very cold in the wintertime, obviously. Snow on the ground a lot. It's like I would have parties. People would smoke on the deck and throw cigarettes into the garden in the winter. My mom would like come in and she's like, there's cigarettes everywhere. You're having parties. Now you got to pick the weeds and the cigarettes. I'm like,
Oh my god.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say like weeds and the cigarette and like fires.
No.
I was like, oh shit.
It rains like 60% of the time in Pittsburgh. We get like 50 days of sun a year. People are really happy there.
I was gonna
Yeah, I
say.
bet.
If we didn't have the Steelers and the Penguins, it would be over. Speaking of amazing people, we have an amazing guest today, and I brought him in because Sinead is obsessed with Last Chance U. I rattled off his credits to Drew Dorsey over here, and she's like, "What? Who is this badass dude?"
Sounds like a rock star.
Yeah, he kind of is. He's a good buddy of mine. We text all the time. He brought me back this shirt from the Masters because he was just there. It's got the pimento and cheese. They're famous for their pimento cheese sandwiches.
Oh my god.
Oh.
If there was ever a reason to get into golf, this is it.
Pimento and cheese sandwiches. If you've never had a pimento and cheese sandwich, I've never had it. Oh, you
I
have?
actually really
haven't.
have.
Ooh.
I have had.
Have you?
No.
Yeah.
Isn't that the soft cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had it. It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
it's
Do you
good.
like cheese? Are you allergic?
No,
I'm lactose intolerant,
She's lactose intolerant.
but I still do it. I risk my
I
butthole
do.
daily.
I really do. I think I might be lactose intolerant, but I will not give up cheese.
I won't.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Josh is allergic to everything.
Everything.
Though. Like it's really sad.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Yep.
No, really?
I can eat like maybe one piece of chocolate. If I eat two, forget about it.
Like I'm not
Oh
like
my
everything.
God.
You
Yeah,
know, my
nuts,
dad took an allergy
seeds.
test the other day, and he was like, I'm allergic to egg whites, dairy, sesame seeds, peanuts. I was like,
Oh my
Yeah.
how are you
god.
alive? Because no one in our family believes, like in South Africa, allergies like don't exist.
Yep.
You're like, I'm allergic. My grandma's like, no, you're fine. Just eat it.
Right. Throat
You'll like
closes up.
it. Like
Yep.
they don't get it. Like, no, I'm allergic. Like, I swear it tastes really good. You're gonna like it. This will kill me.
Grandparents back in the day, my great grandma, like I ate a cinnamon bun. That's how I found I was allergic. My face swelled up. And my grandma was like, "Oh, he looks happy." And so I'm screaming. My mom was like, "He's allergic to everything."
Oh.
So that's how we found out. So I'm allergic to, seeds, nuts, a lot of vegetables.
A lot
Things.
of random weird fruits.
Yeah, like
too.
level 5 poison ivy. It will literally rip my face off. All right. Speaking of ripping people's faces off, this guy's content from Boardwalk Pictures. That's what's called a transition, Drew Dorsey.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best around. It's Andrew Freed.
Yay!
Here to rip
Hello.
your faces off.
What's
I
up,
will
man?
say this, Josh, I'm so thrilled to be here. I don't know why I'm not there. I want to be there with all of you wonderful people.
I didn't know that you wanted to come because I would have. Yeah, by all means.
Next time in person, I'm ready to be there. I
Yes.
wanted to meet everybody. There's a thick Stanley Tucci and a pimento cheese shirt. Like I want in. I want in.
Thick Tooch. I'll take that. Yeah.
Big tooch.
Good to see
We
it.
should make that a
that's
hashtag.
Great.
Andrew Freed, for those that don't know in the chat, Andrew Freed, a hell of a director, producer, human being all the way around. He consistently, I'll text him an idea for a show and he'll be like, nope, but great. Consistently shooting down my ideas. Sometimes they'll internalize it and I think they just laugh about it at the company and then they go like, this one's not for us. I'm like, great, cool. On to the next one. Can't wait.
You
We'll
pull
be
out your
like-
notebook and like scratch
Yeah,
it out.
scratch that one off. Oh, this is genius. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
man.
truth is, because this is the positivity report,
Sure.
so I will keep it positive. The truth is that we love Josh Macuga, as everybody does, and it's
Oh,
like
thanks,
this is a Josh Macuga one. Let's really try to figure out how we could do. No, this just isn't right for us. It doesn't mean it's not right.
That's
Sure,
right. That's
sure.
right.
It's just not right for us
Mhm.
right now.
Mhm. It's not you, it's me. Yeah.
Yeah, we love Josh Macuga.
Thanks, Costanza. I appreciate you.
I respect the effort. I
And
really do.
I do
it's
too.
nice to meet you guys.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you.
I'm trying not to look at you because I recognize that probably makes me seem like I'm not paying attention. So I'm going to look at the camera like the people on MSNBC that I watch.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to hear you
Okay.
and know that you're that you're there and
Listen,
looking great. And next time in person.
Yes, 100%. And you can flip back and forth, Andrew. You know, they're two amazingly beautiful, talented women. So you can, by all means.
I flip back and forth all the time because I always forget that there's this camera here.
Oh, I haven't been looking at that at all.
No, right? I'm like, why would I look at the
straight at you,
camera?
man.
Why would I look at the camera when I can look at us? Like, why would I look at the camera when I can watch the show as I do the show?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, I never look at this camera.
I don't know how to do what you're talking about, but it feels great, and I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna get through it. I'm gonna make it great.
Yeah. Michael Kautzer popped in chat here, said the making of the Josh Birdie documentary. Well, listen, we did think about doing a Jeopardy documentary, and that we were like really working on pitching me as the next host of Jeopardy and like my lifelong obsession with the show and everything. And we went down a rabbit hole. We really did.
It's one of these things that, as you start to get to a certain level in this business, which I'm very grateful and very fortunate and very, I think, lucky that I have, but you no longer can sort of sit on the sidelines and wish like, oh, if I could only get this thing in the right person's hand and blah, 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 blah. It's like, we took a real run at that and put it in front of all of the people who would need to say yes to it. Like we had that access and we had the right materials and we had all the enthusiasm, and then they were just like,
yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, now we can't even just sit around and be like, oh, if we could only have gotten this to people.
Yeah.
Like, so there are pluses and pros and cons to all of it. But
being a power, the hands that rock the cradles of Hollywood is Andrew Freed is kind of what he's saying.
Yeah.
Lots of baby metaphors, which I like. I also do not have a brown couch.
Good for you.
Is your mattress actually on a bed frame?
I have a beige couch.
It's beige. It's beige.
Maybe it's like, I don't know. It's a lighter shade. It's on the brown spectrum for sure.
I see. All right. Well, as long as it's not that that standard chocolate brown, because that is the color of every guy's couch in Los Angeles.
That leather chocolate.
Yes, and it's always like fake leather. It peels off.
I've had that too.
I can tell I'm talking from personal experience.
I probably had one. I had a navy blue leather couch in college that was a real.
Yep, that's another
hit.
one.
Matching Barker.
Ooh, yeah.
Back kind of thing. Navy blue leather.
That is hot. That is one sexy couch. I'm just envisioning it, thinking about like, wow, what? Just, listen, there are some people that are lucky and there's some people that are good. And Andrew Freed, you are both, my friend. Blessed. So listen, Andrew, Sinead has been obsessed with this season of Last Chance U.
Oh my God,
so
good.
Go ahead, take it away, Sinead.
Well, so it was a few years ago. Josh was the one who introduced me to Last Chance U. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
It was you.
Yeah.
And he was like, I need you to watch this show. This was probably 5 years ago? No, a little less, 4 years ago. But I had obviously always just seen it. I've always been an avid Netflix watcher, so I'd always seen it and hadn't got into it. And he was like, you need to know you're gonna cry. And I was like, Josh, you cry at everything. This isn't anything new. Josh's favorite hobby, one of his favorite pastimes is crying.
It's crying.
Especially at television and movies. So I was like, all right. And I kid you not, a show. I kept blaming it on being a mom. I was like, I'm a mom now. That's why I'm this emotional. But it was so heartwarming and sad and beautiful at the same time. And it just told such a wonderful story. And it really started my love of sports documentaries or docuseries. And I don't watch a lot of sports, but I will crush through sports docuseries. And I think it's because it is so, the stakes are so high because you're rooting for the people, but you're also rooting for the game. Even if it's a game you don't necessarily follow in real life, you're rooting for the game because you get to know their love of the game in a very different way. And I was just so mesmerized. But I watched that movie that came out 2011. What was it? It's a high school. It's also a football team.
Friday Night Lights?
No. It's it's a documentary.
Undefeated?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know where it all.
That won the Oscar.
That won the Oscar.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and everyone was like, this is, where it really starts and blah, blah, blah. But I just feel like nowadays we've gotten to be so. It's such a modern take on that, and I actually really like how we do it now. And just, I'm setting this all up for like, as we move forward, do you ever see focusing on like a female team of any type? Because obviously we've seen a lot of these boys stories and they're so great, but I just want to know if it's something you guys have ever played around with.
I think, first of all, thank you, because you're saying lots of nice things about, things that I spend a lot of time trying to put out to the world. So first of all, I really appreciate that.
Sure.
And I think Josh and I have cried together on multiple occasions, not even watching things, just talking about
just brothers crying.
Love that.
man stuff and dad stuff and,
Yep.
and all this stuff.
Yep.
But the reality is, and what you're saying really does resonate with me, because I think that telling sports stories is almost like cheating, right? When you're going to tell a story, whatever the topic is, what are the questions you're going to ask yourself, right? And I'm speaking specifically in the sort of documentary space that we do, but documentary is entertainment, right? Documentary as something that is broad appeal and not sort of scratchy archival footage that you see on PBS necessarily. No offense to PBS. And so what do you ask? You ask, like, what are the stakes? What is the ticking clock here? Who am I rooting for? Who am I rooting against? Like all of these sort of questions that you ask about good storytelling, it's naturally built into sports. And so you don't have to do much to it. What are the stakes? Winning and losing. What is the ticking clock? There actually is a ticking clock, and it will count down to zero.
Right,
Literally.
right.
And what are we building to each episode? Well, we could build to whatever we want, but at the very least, as like a safety backstop, we have that there's going to be games in a football season or a basketball season or whatever type, and then there's going to be a winner and a loser. Before the game, there's going to be an underdog and a favorite. And then there's going to be a winner and a loser, and somebody's going to be carried off on someone's shoulders, and maybe, unfortunately, somebody will be carried off on a stretcher. And then we're going to build to the playoffs, and then we're going to build to the championship, and then there's a trophy and confetti cannons and cut to credits, and we're done. And so, it's all there, and you don't have to do much to it. Yeah. And so I think that is why it's a wonderful organizing principle for something that Josh and I talk about all the time, but that a lot of us talk about all the time, which is everybody has a story. There are characters everywhere. I could go out if I had to, I could go outside and stand on the corner, and by the end of the day have a cast of a show, a documentary feature, what have you. It's the organizing principle. It's how do they all sort of bounce off of each other and have something that they're chasing, something that they want, and then we can watch them passionately pursue that. So just to break it down as zeros and ones a little bit, to your question, because I don't want to dodge it, of course we would love to tell stories about women in sports. And of course we want to tell stories about women doing lots of things. It's a matter of how do we find characters, male, female, or somewhere in between on the spectrum, who are doing something that they are incredibly passionate about. Some of the other ingredients that I'll talk about, like maybe it's a community of people who didn't fit in other places, as we all did, right? Sure. We didn't fit in. And so then we found each other. We found this sort of centralized passion point. And so, cheer is a perfect example of that. Right. There are men in cheer as well, but certainly a bit of a more female-driven thing. Is cheer sport? Absolutely. Is it a sports doc? Certainly. It ends with people, I don't want to give away the end, but there's a championship at the end. Maybe they win, maybe they lose. You'll have to tune in. But so that is certainly more female skewing. But I also don't want to say that, if we do women, it's got to be like cheerleading and pom-poms. Right. That's what cheer is. But we are always looking at these pockets of communities of character-rich sort of groups of people that are pursuing something passionately and have a lot of those natural elements. So we don't have to do much to it. Yeah. I could do it at a dance competition. I could do it at there are any number of things we can look at, but when we're all back and sports is what sports was, or some version of it, I imagine both for us and for lots of companies and lots of storytellers, there's going to be a lot more of this sports doc stuff because it's resonated so much, not just Cheer and Last Chance U and some of the things we're fortunate enough to make, but The Last Dance and so much, sports has been big from a doc standpoint this last year.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, is that too serious?
No.
No, it's great.
Hey.
I love this. I was gonna say, like, I even pulled pictures of Michael Jordan, backstage with his cigar from The Last Dance. We got them printed in high res, and now they're on our wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
Next to Biden.
Next. Biden and Jordan.
Yeah. Harrison's always like, "Is that Uncle Joe?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's your uncle. That's what you tell people. No, but it is true. It is. I definitely feel like it's just opened up as a new spot. Even told my sister, I'm like, "Dude, you don't have to care about this sport to watch this. It's not about that. It's about so much more." But to what you're saying, you do get invested. I mean, F1, Drive to Survive is how I started following the races. Never in a million years would I ever think I was going to be watching
Who
races.
recommended that show to you?
You did.
F1 is huge. People are loving F1.
Oh my God.
I have not watched it yet. So tell me, so what is it about it? Because I don't want to watch an F1 race, but now you do. Right. So you tell me, like, what is it about that show that is resonating?
Let's start with the obvious here, Andrew. Lewis Hamilton is one of the prettiest men you've ever seen. Okay, let's put that aside. I think for us, and I don't want to step on Sinead here, but I think for me, what did it, and I mean, Amanda has jumped on board too, is it's an unknown sport to us.
Yeah.
And so we're watching the sport firsthand develop over this drama series of it all. But I think like what you said about Last Chance U or anything like that is anything that gives us a window into a world that we don't know. Like we can watch the races all day long, and I had to watch races with my family in Germany when I did my exchange there, and I was like, this is so boring. And now I'm watching F1, and I'm like, I should have given it another chance. It's giving you that behind the scenes look. But I mean,
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, obviously, I grew up in South Africa, so my whole family has always been into like certain sports. It's been like rugby and cricket and soccer. And so just moving to America and like getting into, my dad was like a huge Cubs fan. I was like a White Sox fan. It was just like a different world, being like, oh, this is interesting. We became huge Blackhawks fan. And I think just the intrigue of different sports was just exciting. Like just made us also feel like we were part of this culture or whatever. So that's kind of like where it was started. But I also played soccer for like 10 years. So I had all these little things that I loved about sports. And I just appreciated the idea of like athletes. I appreciate athletes because I'm like, man, this is freaking hard. Like I ran in the Junior Olympics for cross country, and I can't run up the stairs now. Like I'm dead serious. Like I'm like, I don't know who that girl was. It's not me. Don't expect to see me run anytime soon. But so I just like appreciate athletes. And then when I see an athlete doing something so out of the box as to the norm again, out of our immediate like culture. Yes, F1 is huge here too, but obviously NASCAR will always dominate in America, and it's a damn shame.
Totally, yeah.
But I just feel like it's the excitement again. I'm like, whoa, this is a new thing. This is exciting, and it's so hard not to get invested. It is so hard. That story is told so beautifully as well. They do such a good job of focusing on the people, and I mean, yes. The only time I'm ever allowed to utter the words Lewis Hamilton in my household is while we're watching F1. Otherwise, it is
Let's
banned.
just pull up a quick pic here of Lewis Hamilton. I mean, that's a
Oh,
pretty man.
wait a second.
Oh, that's a handsome man.
I mean, look at that guy. Look,
yeah.
I wasn't aware.
Good work, Ikaika.
Also, we found out he sang on Christina Aguilera's album, and now I'm
Yes.
more
What,
in
he
love.
sings too?
He sang under like an alias, like
Under
Sasha
alias.
Fierce.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He used
Yeah.
He used like an actual alias.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that photo.
But so back to what you're saying, like I totally get that on the sports front. And I played a little bit of sports in high school to no acclaim, but like I also was on the school paper. I also was in the school plays, and all of those things have most of those elements as well, right? Like there is a deadline. There are passionate people. There are people doing things not for the glory of like wealth and fame, but because they're just passionate about it and trying to, reach the pinnacle of what they're doing. And so, yes, with football, basketball, cheerleading, there's a physical danger to it as well. Certainly with cheer and with football. But I am a sucker for all of these things that just have that natural look. We did a series called 7 Days Out for Netflix a few years ago that was sort of just an outgrowth of this conversation. It's like, if you have a natural calendar, if you have natural stakes, well, then I know that there's going to be rich storytelling to be done. So what if we just counted the 7 days leading up to something.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that show because it's just all there. It's all built in. So thank you.
Aaron Jordan in chat says women's swimming and gymnastics. I would say that cheer is a lot of gymnastics, so we could see that. Gymnastics has always intrigued me because I listened to this documentary about Bella Caroli and the U.S. gymnastics and how insane it is, like
Yeah,
what they
it's
put
nuts.
these women through.
Superhuman.
And then women's swimming. I grew up. I was a swimmer. I swam my whole life. I've said it a billion times. My friends make fun of me all the time, but like. Women's swimming is on another planet. Like guys swimming, it's hard, but women's swimming is way more. It's hard to explain the difference in men and women swimming. But when you're in it, you're in it. And it's either one of those sports, I think, lend themselves. Any of the Olympic sports that nobody kind of knows about. That's why I love when you're watching the Olympics and like, let's go to the story about Eric, and Eric is a loser, and it's like he grew up on a luge sled, and you're like, how did he go? So those are those documentaries that I love.
Yeah. I mean, but let's be real. Like we love it for the drama too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I wouldn't love any show as much, docuseries wise, reality show, if there wasn't a lot of drama. I am a sucker for it. Drew and I both watch all of the reality shows. It's like all of them, and it's like one of those things where I have zero shame. Someone will be like, "Oh, this," I'm like, "Oh, it's like in Real Housewives." They're like, "No," I'm like, "All right." Every single reality show I've watched have always been like that. I watched the first season of The Bachelor when I was like 9 with my mom. Like it's just like one of those things that's always been a part of what I like to watch. So the reason why I suggest women as well is because at that age, I mean, you remember what it's like?
We're good TV.
Yes.
Very good TV.
And so I mean, that's also what intrigues me. I'm not just like, I know it sounds bad, but I'm not just being like, I want to hear the women's stories. I'm like, I want to see the girls' drama because I also know what it's like to be 19, 20, 21 and like fighting for something. I mean, that's when I left home. That's when you left home. And it's just like one of those things where we're just like, whoa, like I remember sacrificing a lot and being like, I'm sorry guys, I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to go to LA. And my parents are like, what? Like I know what that fight is, and also the confidence you give yourself as a child. I think a lot of us need to be reminded of how much like balls we had as women back in the day when you were like, no one's going to tell me no. And now it's like a lot harder because you get jaded after a few years in this business and in a lot of business and a lot of industries. And it would be nice and refreshing to see girls still like be not influenced so much by the adulthood of it all.
Yeah, agreed. Look, you said the word passion, you said the word sacrifice, you said all of the ingredients that go into the stew for something that resonates. And by the way, reality television exists because people are craving something real.
Right.
I think when we came, when I started Boardwalk Pictures 11 years ago, it was a reaction to that. It was saying, okay, there's a spectrum here, right? And Honey Boo Boo and John and K+8 and the Kardashians, whatever was around then, is on one side of the spectrum, and then scratchy black and white documentary, is on this side of the spectrum, right? And that's oversimplifying both, but for this conversation, that's the range. And so, how can we do something that is as authentic as the documentary stuff that we're talking about? Yeah. Because the reality stuff, can be contrived and less authentic. But how can we satisfy that want of what people are getting from the reality stuff, but do it in a more elegant, elevated, premium, beautiful, interesting, and weird way, while still having it appeal, to a wide audience and get as many eyeballs on it as possible? And so, really, and I would be remiss if I did not call out that Greg Whiteley, who is the creator of Last Chance U and Cheer, and I believe is just the best person doing this right now. I honestly think he's better at this than anyone in the business right now. And we feel fortunate to support him in all of that. But I think that Cheer and Last Chance U, but I think that Cheer is the sort of proof case of that 11-year-old theory, which is if you give people something that is documentary in nature, but broad in its appeal. So documentary in its execution, but broad in its appeal, and the characters appeal to, a wide audience, that all of a sudden that reality audience will come to documentary. I mean, Cheer won the Emmy for Best Reality Series.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a reality series, but I guess it is. And so that's the interesting spot for me. But Josh, look as exercise, maybe you want to pitch me that swim show, just like what's like the 10-second log line of that women's swim show.
Man,
It's exercise
on the spot.
My heart is freaking pounding for you right now.
I'm sweaty.
It's the only here's the log line. You are stuck in a pool with no sound every day for 3 to 4 hours a day. You are just going back and forth, and then you're put up on a block and told to race your best friends every single day.
Oof.
Okay?
I'm intrigued.
Every single day.
Josh, that is an amazing
Yeah, it is.
pitch, and you know how much we love you, but it's not really a great time and not a great fit for us on that right now. So
I was
good.
intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. I was there with you.
I was intrigued because I was scared. I was really scared. I was like, this is gonna be a really silent documentary, and my anxiety will be really high up in the sky.
Yeah, but what a great
you never
teaser.
know.
It is.
You never know. We are looking for characters and stories, and you never know. I just like listen. I think I said to Josh via text the other day, I'm sorry I keep swatting away your pitches.
Literally just whack, whack. Like an angry game of tennis. Just awesome. Like, I think I've got gold here, and I'll say it to Amanda. She's like, send it to Andrew. And he's like, nope, not that one.
You do that. It's a couple months ago, Josh kept sending me potential plant names, and they were all puns, remember?
Yeah, puns.
He random texts throughout the day, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, good one. Like,
It's admirable.
My favorite pitches are pitches that don't really have an idea, but they have a great name.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that would be a great name for a show. So now we just have to figure out what the show is.
yes,
Sure.
yes.
But we're going to make something together. We're going to make lots of stuff together.
One of these days.
That's so
Absolutely.
exciting.
I
We
believe
build a
it.
thing.
I believe it too.
Thank you.
Did I get you the right size t-shirt?
You did. This is a
Okay.
large. Yeah. The green large was definitely a lady's shirt, so Amanda's watching that. Is going to wear that one.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
And he got Rosie a little Masters, little teddy bear that's dressed in the caddy outfit.
How cute.
And
my
and a
God.
golf tail, and he got a onesie for Rosie, and she's just the sweetest little thing.
The thing about the master swag is, it's only available that week.
Yep.
And there. You cannot get it online, and you cannot buy it anywhere else except for the 7 days that gift shop is open.
Wow.
Augusta, and there's no phones, and there's no anything, and so you leave an experience of being at the Masters without a picture, without a selfie,
You can't bring phones in. Nothing.
Oh wow.
and so
couldn't go.
we need to take something with us, right? Like I have to take something, and so I just
Sandwich.
I just have a ridiculous amount of things. I don't even golf. I just have things everywhere. I had to leave. I can't come back. I can't go online. I have to empty this place out.
That's
Totally.
so funny. You pulled up it was like a white shirt.
Yeah. All this golf stuff.
I just have all this stuff.
Here's
And
the
now I
best-
just start golfing.
Here's the best part. It's like
Golfing.
I've been obsessed with golf since I was a kid, right? It was the thing that my grandpa taught me, and then my grandpa died when I was 12, and it was like the thing we shared. And so my uncle loves it, my family, and it's just like every time I play, I think about my grandpa. So I've been obsessed with it forever. And he was obsessed with Arnold Palmer, and Arnold Palmer won the Masters 4 times, and the Masters of the tournament. So every time Andrew has gotten to go there, right before my grandpa died, he got to meet Arnold Palmer.
Oh, that's
There's
tight.
a picture of him. Anyway, when Andrew's like, I'm going to the Masters, like, you son of a bitch, that's what I want to do. I will literally clean your shoes outside of the hotel if that gets me to Augusta. So he comes back from Augusta this time. He's like, I think I'm going to start golfing. I'm enamored by it. He's got kids that are the perfect age to start learning golf. So
Aw.
we've just been texting nonstop. Like, I've been sending him schools that he can take his kids to go golfing and all this kind of stuff. And I bought Rosie a little pink golf grip. Okay.
Oh.
And I just have her hold it because she's got like strong hands. Yeah, I was telling Drew before the shows, we took her to the pediatrician yesterday, and she was doing tummy time, and then she was sitting up, and the doctor's like, she's very strong. I'm very, very impressed. And I was like, I have a super baby. I have it. And Amanda's like, you need to calm down. I think she says that to everybody. I was like, she doesn't. I know she doesn't. I'm gonna knock on her office on her head. Let me listen, doc. You say that to all the babies or what?
So
A lot of time.
Yeah.
Soak it all up, because as any parent will tell you, you turn around and it just goes so fast.
Yeah.
So
Real quick in chat, Kingsport Callis, Andrew, do you consider billiards a sport?
sure.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
It's hard.
I kind of think, and I'm not the be all end all on what is sport and what is not, but like poker's on ESPN.
Yeah.
And so as far as I'm concerned, if there's a winner and a loser, then you could figure out that it is a sport in some way. But
It's just like going into a pitch room with Andrew, right? There's a winner and there's a loser.
You're getting
No,
there.
yeah. Hey, one of these days, an idea's gonna get picked up. I fully believe it.
I mean,
Thank
I'm
you.
always in awe of people who can just come up with ideas, you know?
Yeah,
Like, when
and
we're
they never
tasked-
stop, even though they
No.
get turned down. That's a very aspirational,
Yes. Like,
inspirational.
at least you can even
quality.
come up with an idea, you know?
Mhm.
It's like, I'm always like, I can't do that. I'm not creative. And people are like, do you know what you do for a living? I'm like, yeah, but that's not what I mean. I mean, like, being able to sit there and, like, just come up with a brand new original idea. I'm so in awe of people who can do that all the time. Like,
You could do that.
You can do it.
original ideas, like pumping it out. I don't know, man. It's just, I think it's so impressive. when you
Sammy
can make
Leon
it brand.
Mendoza pops in here real quick. Says parenting is a sport. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. I can attest.
100%.
Yes,
As a bystander,
yes.
I can
Yes.
concur.
You've
Yeah.
been on the phone with me.
Yep.
And heard the
It's
demonic
war.
sounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Andrew's got a couple little guys, a girl and guy. Yeah.
parenting is absolutely a full contact sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I don't know that I sit around and come up with ideas from scratch. I think that the ideas are all out there. And then, there are also no new ideas. And
Right.
that is very freeing, oddly, that
There's not as much
everyone's got
pressure.
every idea. It's just about like what makes yours special. What is the access? What is the hook? What is the thing, right? Like when we did Chef's Table, we didn't come up with the idea of profiling. It would be great if there were hour-long profiles of chefs.
Mhm.
That's not, I don't even know that qualifies as an idea. But the execution and the way that we did it and the way that we were able to describe what we wanted to do, and working with David Gelb, who, created that series, and David had directed a feature film called Jiro Dreams of Sushi, the documentary feature that I was a big fan of. And so you start to have reference points for what this new thing could be and who's going to make it and how we're all going to make it together. And that's an idea. Ideas are everywhere. I would shift because I'm sure there are a lot of, storytellers and aspiring storytellers who watch your show. And it's less about like, oh, I have to come up with the most unique idea. It's like, no, I have to come up with the most special access and the most interesting take on an idea, I think.
See,
Mhm.
I
there
like
you go.
that.
Sinead, Drew, interesting takes, all that kind of stuff. Andrew, I would be remiss if we didn't didn't talk real quick. What Freestyle Love Supreme, which I think is unbelievably genius. What's next with you and Lin-Manuel Miranda? Is there anything on the horizon? I mean, before he texted me this morning on my way in, he said I'm on the phone with Jean-Georges right now. So,
Bruh.
again,
Like, oh, yeah,
What?
all right. No.
Yeah.
Okay, sit. Yeah, all right, bye.
and you have
So
to.
cool.
I bragged to Josh off air, but yeah, this is good too.
Should I not have said that, or do we have to cut
No,
this out?
no.
Okay. He does. Yeah.
What did you say? Sorry.
What?
You're like, do we have
It's
to
like,
cut
it's
this out?
live.
I was like, this is live.
I know it's live, but we're gonna cut it. Forget it. You know what I mean?
We'll edit it out later.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Good
good.
show. Just do a rapid fire pitch session.
Correct.
No, look, my friendship with Lynn is 16 years old, and the film that we made, We Are Freestyle Love Supreme, I think we may have used up all the old footage that we had.
Yeah.
And so we have lots of exciting things in development that
Sure.
we work on with Lynn and Tommy Kail, who's the director of Hamilton and was the director of In the Heights and is the director of Freestyle Love Supreme. And so he was a producer on that film as well and prominently featured. Yeah, we're always trying to figure out the reality with Lynn and where he is in the world now is he has an ability to amplify stories in a way that most people never will understand. And so when he points to something and says, this is what I am going to offer a platform to and try to amplify, it's worth its weight in platinum. And so it's exciting to be able to have those conversations with him.
Yeah.
It's different being friends with him now than it was, when we were like going to Sunglass Hut.
Yeah.
To buy sunglasses. Like, I remember for some reason there's like this day in LA when Lin was out here shooting something, and it was pre-Hamilton, and he was just like, yeah, I don't really, I don't have anyone out here, and I got to buy new sunglasses, and, let's have lunch and maybe buy. And like, I just remember like walking into the Sunglass Hut with Lin, and, you couldn't do that now.
That's so cool.
He's texting Obama. And,
like, actually.
and
I mean,
so,
my goodness.
Yeah, like, actually. And so he's one of the special talents of our generation, I think, and I think we're lucky that he will continue to tell stories for our generation. And I definitely, the first time I saw him on stage, I definitely said there's something special there, and so I stuck with it.
It's like all my ideas.
cool.
There's something special
There's
there.
something special
There's
there.
something in there. There are Lin ideas that through the years we've swatted away as well.
See?
See?
There's hope.
Thanks, Drew.
He's
I
not quite as
appreciate you.
prolific in his swattable ideas as you may be, Josh. But,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, tell your Ron Howard story real quick because it's one of my favorite stories of all time. When you were out to breakfast.
now you have to help me.
You said you were out to lunch with your agent. And you're like, this is so Hollywood. What is like Ron Howard going to stand up?
Oh yeah. Okay. That is the thing.
Yeah.
So we were at, and you'll still have to help me because I remember it vaguely, but you probably remember the funnier details.
Yeah.
But we were sitting at a restaurant in Brentwood and we were talking about how Hollywood it was. And I used like the example of, do you remember what the example was? It was like Ron Howard's, cheating on his wife or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're going to hear it and someone's going to be like, did you just say that about Ron Howard? And so I was performing it like intentionally to be like, what am I going to sit here and say Ron Howard's cheating on his wife?
Yeah.
That
was
was Ron Howard.
Yeah.
And
That is the most LA thing I've ever heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
just amazing. Just
That's-
humiliating.
just the best.
What
But
did you
yeah,
say?
I
Were you
guess
like,
you
I'm kidding?
Right, did he say something?
No, he just walked out.
It was this kind of thing where it's just like, because he's Ron Howard, and so it's just like, and I'm just sorry.
You're
That's-
like, sorry,
That's
dude.
my bad. That's my
That's
bad.
That's
funny.
funny.
Yeah, there was no discussion with Ron Howard on that day.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's part of the fun of being like, we all made it here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Like we all, wherever we grew up, and I love hearing you guys like for as close as you are, not even necessarily knowing each step along the journey, but we came here. I met Josh years ago. We were telling jokes on stages that nobody was coming to listen to us. We were just
Correct.
laughing at each other's jokes,
Yeah.
and Josh and Mark and Christian and all these guys that Ellis and just it's a community of people that we came out here and started doing it,
Yeah.
and now we're still here and
Still doing
we're
it.
all doing slightly different things, but we're still just telling stories and trying to connect with people and bring joy, and
Oh,
I just sort of love it. So
Oh,
You're the
that's
man.
I'm proud of you
come in
guys.
next time.
Yes,
And I want to do a
100%.
full hour, and,
Yes, yes, longer than an hour. If you and you know what, I'd love to get you and Jordy on a Josh Birdie together. So Jordy's head of development. Yep.
It is very competitive, and we go back a long way, and it would be great to compete. But you guys know, even back to the sports doc stuff, you gamify things. What are we going to do? We're going to play Josh Birdie. We're going to do 24 and 24, or whatever the different games that you do. Like,
Mhm. Boom.
now I care. This game is going to be a winner or a loser.
Andrew Freed, you're the best, buddy. We'll talk soon and next time in studio. Love you,
so
buddy.
nice
Nice
talking
to
to
meet
you.
you.
So nice to talk to you guys.
Bye.
Andrew
He's so
Freed,
dope.
right?
He seems
Yeah.
like such a nice guy
He
too.
really does.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
he
genuine.
really does.
Just an awesome dude.
Oh,
He. Oh.
so touched by so much.
Thanks. Drew, I feel like we didn't even get to talk that much. We still got a little while left in the show. What's going on? You got merch
You
that
wanna
say
know.
titties on it.
I almost wore it,
I
but I was
almost wore it
afraid.
too, and then I was afraid.
I didn't want to get you demonetized
Yeah.
because apparently that happened.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
wore it like whatever on a YouTube video and it got
I
demonetized.
honestly think it's fine, but there was that little part of me that I was like, if I'm the reason.
Yeah, I couldn't forgive myself. I wasn't gonna do that to you.
But it does say like titties really big.
I've
across
seen
it.
it. Sure, yeah.
That's big font. But I had it in my hands, and I was like,
The message is good. Right underneath
Yes.
it says, "If you look now that I have your attention, Black Lives Matter."
Boom.
Right.
It's smart. It's smart. It's
really
like
smart.
it's the old like FBI, and then it says female body inspector, but way more
Exactly.
powerful.
Exactly.
And way more important than a shirt I bought in
And
New
way less
Orleans.
problematic.
Correct. And way less,
Just a little bit.
way less me too.
That's from Drew hates when I do this. It's from a Friends episode. Do you remember?
Oh my God. Okay, so this is the thing. I
Talk to me.
work with. Listen, this is no shade. I work with.
Did you see the Mark Ellis v. Sinead in a Josh video over Friends?
No.
Like Mark got 3 right, and Sinead was just like, bah, bah.
She's
just,
like a Friends
freak.
encyclopedia.
Yes. Yeah.
Drew doesn't watch like Friends.
I've
so-
never seen the show ever. Ever.
Can you
Lem-
imagine
I
how
don't-
annoying someone like me
Yeah,
must
oh,
be? for
yeah.
someone
I'm
who's
sure it's
never
a
seen the
great show. Like obviously, you
Sure.
know, like so many people talk
Just-
about it. But I work with so many people who like work like they bring it up
Worship.
constantly.
Mhm.
And I'm just
I
like,
get it.
it's a simulation. Like it's gotta be. Get me out of here.
It's true though, but I think that's the problem with Friends because you're not the first person to be like Sinead because there is a Friends reference for everything, and the show was on the air for 10
Everything.
years.
Yep.
So like really, truly, if you think about it, 10 years of show.
Mhm.
Okay, 10 years of show. How many potential like plot lines and storylines happen over 10 seasons that you're like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
God, I just gotta give in, I guess. Just watch it.
Here's the
It's
thing.
so good.
The biggest complaint of Friends nowadays is that there was 0 diversity, right?
Okay, I didn't want to say it,
No, no,
but
no.
like
Well, there
And
was,
it's a white
but
people show.
they tried.
It's
I
a
think
white
they
people
were.
show.
Yeah.
It's a
It
white,
is. It is.
It is a white people show. They tried towards the end because it's like once they realized that there was really no going back on it. They were
Right.
already set. So then, do you notice there was like Charlie?
Yeah.
They brought in a lot of like
Charlie,
black
black
and
guy?
Asian. Charlie's black girl.
Okay.
And
What's her
then
name?
the Asian girl that Ross dated as well. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
tried. Julie.
Julie.
Once they
liked
realized,
Julie.
they're like, oh, we cast
Yep.
all white people
Yeah.
as our leads. You can
Straight up
tell.
white.
You can tell that they realized it, and it's like, yeah, that sucks. Like,
There wasn't even like a Mediterranean thrown in there,
No.
like a
No.
Sampanelli. No, it was like,
No.
you know,
their idea
Courtney
of diversity
Cox.
was like
Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
right. I think
Yeah.
I was just bitter because Living Single came first and
Yeah.
then Friends.
Yeah.
Living Single was the
Gentrified
shit.
it.
Here's
It really is the gentrified version.
It's the
of that.
gentrified version of Living
You know what
Single.
sucks is that like the only place you can find things like Living Single, Martin, which I think
Channel
might be
11.1.
Great show.
correct.
Channel 11.1. You know, I did a show on Channel 11.1
I did
called
not
My
know.
Crazy Roommate,
Oh my God.
and it was Leah Daniels Butler, the casting director.
Lee
She
Daniels.
does-
I
no,
was gonna
yes,
say-
it's his sister. She does
Her name is
all-
Leah?
Leah, yeah.
That is just
I'm dead
But
serious.
That is just-
Butler's in there too.
Butler, Leah Daniels, hash.
Do you realize how ironic
Butler.
that is?
no. Lee Daniels is the butler. He's Lee.
Lee Daniels, yes, but she's saying how ironic is it that there's Butler in her last name as well.
Right.
Like Lee Daniels is the Butler, and her name is Leah Daniels Butler.
Get the hell out
Like
of here.
what?
Unless I'm somehow making that up. Her name is definitely Leah Daniels Butler. Unless I'm somehow making it up, or she was messing around with me. Like maybe she was like, yeah, that's my brother. But like she was doing it like being sarcastic, but I'm pretty sure they're related.
That's
Anyways,
just a
Totally real.
mess.
she casts a lot of like the black television.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I did this show years ago, right after I did Big Time Rush, and I remember like talking to her about it, and she was like, "This is really great. Like, this is a good time because television's popping off again, and there's a really great space for diversity now, and also being multiracial is really important as well." And I was like, "I'm so excited." And then she was like, "It all plays on channel 11.1," and I was like, "Do we
The
see
fact
how?"
that you remember that.
But where
Yeah,
the
because
hell
it
is
really
that?
stuck with me. It's not even a real channel. It really stuck with me because I was like, this is so wrong. Why is this the case? Because yes,
Yeah.
you have BET, but like, what the hell is channel 11.1?
Right. Where
I've never even heard
that
of
And
it's
I-
honestly
like,
like,
I
are
know
that
you
was a
churning
thing.
through and then all of a sudden like 11.1 is like Hogwarts is like
right.
Yes,
10 and 3/4
yes,
like
you
platform
have
for
you have to like
3/4?
rewire
Get
the
into
TV.
it.
Yeah.
But I don't like BET is like the only channel.
I know.
How many other channels
I
are there
don't
on
know,
cable?
man. Somehow I just like always found all the black shows. I feel like UPN was one.
Yes, but UPN was one
UPN.
back in the channel 14
Totally.
in
Yeah.
Chicago. And I remember like UPN
Wee
was
TV.
one.
Different world.
Yes, I love WeTV.
Me too.
It's you guys and Amanda need to hang out. GPACharity with the Prince of the Islands. Aloha Hot Friday. What do you got?
Speaking of diversity,
Yeah.
have you seen his diverse catalog of photos?
Wow.
I cannot with
Wait, so
with
he's a
the
NASCAR
person.
driver?
No,
he's
Formula
F1.
One. He's
What-
British too.
Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't
he's
want to
the
ask
only black
what is
driver
F1.
in F1. He's the only black. He set all the records. He
Oh, it's
is
insane.
diversity of F1 because
Yes.
everybody else is white.
But
and
what
American.
is?
F1?
Yeah.
Formula One is
yeah,
the
it's
it's open wheel racing is what you would call it. It's like the cars that like look they look
Oh,
here.
God.
Pull
I
up a
can't- I
Formula
can't
One
handle
car.
this.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, he's-
Sorry to be that person who
Oh, and
asked
he's got
what
dogs.
F1 is.
Or those
Yeah,
just
he's
dogs
got-
for a photo shoot.
He does have dogs.
He was married or engaged to Nicole Scherzinger, correct? And then they
Yeah,
cut
that's
that
what I
off.
Oh,
heard.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bummer.
He's beautiful.
So
Can you
sad.
pull up a picture of a Formula One car for Miss Dorsey?
They go like over like 200 miles an hour, and they like there's like the G-force of the car.
Oh,
It's
wow.
different. Like there's like intensified levels of like
It's like
G-force.
Hot
insane.
Wheels.
They lose
Yes, correct.
they lose 10 pounds a season on average
Oh
of
my
body weight
God.
just because of how strong the G-forces
Like the
are.
centrifugal force. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But it's really like
They go up over 230 miles an hour. It's
yeah,
crazy.
That's
it is-
terrifying.
I know.
Dude, it is terrifying. And there are
I
like
went 90 in my Civic the other day, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What the?"
every
Start crying.
How did you go 90 in a Civic?
Well, I don't know.
My
A
dad
cop
always
pulled me
wanted
over.
me to get a
Oh my
Civic. You
God.
know that? He always wanted me to get a Civic. 'Cause
Yeah.
He said that it was the world's safest car.
Well, it is. My dad's a Honda dealer, and he was like, either get the Accord or the Civic. I think next I'm gonna get a Honda truck. I think I'm gonna,
Well,
I'm
I've
gonna
had-
upgrade to a
Crazy.
truck.
I've had Audis
Throw
because
kids' toys in the back.
Yeah.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I've had Audis because they have that steel cage around it, and I've been in too many car accidents.
See,
So now
Jeez.
I'm like I
I've been
have
in
like
5. What
OCD
do you
about
got?
it. Well, I got into one
guys
that
have
put me into
never-
labor. Remember?
Oh,
remember?
right,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Fist in the butthole.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. She's heard
before,
it too.
before the show started, Sinead was like, "Hey, I got fist in my," and then camera went live. I was like, "What?"
That was why we started laughing last week because I was like,
Oh,
yeah. and-
that's what you guys
Yeah,
were laughing
because
at. I was
Mm.
wondering.
As it was, I didn't realize how funny it was gonna sound because I was like just walked in. I was like, yeah, and like I got like fisted.
Yeah.
And then Josh just looked at me and he was like, and it was like 3,
By the
2,
doctor? The doctor fisted
Yeah.
you?
like so many doctors.
Dana Medina said they said it great earlier. Upside down jets on international tracks is how you
Yes,
could like
yes.
That's
say.
insane.
Yeah.
It is. I swear to God, Drew. Like watching a race is like your heart is just
Pounding.
Oh my God.
That's so scary.
You ever like take it? Like even when you're driving and it just a bend in the road comes and you're going 80.
Right.
Like up north, you probably take the 5 up to where you're from, right?
Yeah.
Just take the 5 up. A slight bend in the road on the 5, and you're like,
I get scared going like 50 and then there's a turn. I'm like, oh. I drive like an old lady though.
I do too. I drive like this.
yeah.
Me too.
I can't wait to see you guys on the road sometime. Just like, oh, hey, Josh. Yeah.
Stressed.
I drive really close to the window like an idiot. I'm like,
And I always let people over. No one ever says thank you. In NorCal, everybody says thank you.
Listen, Jeff, I don't necessarily. Kaikashai was from the San
LA,
Jose area.
LA is
Oh,
rude.
so you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bay Area's like, oh hey.
But you
People
know
in Hawaii are
what?
like, give you the shaka. Here they're like,
Yeah, people don't do anything. It makes
yeah,
me
they,
so
they
mad.
expect it. But you know what I realized? Unless you have a Jeep. So Nils got Nils
Oh,
drives
God.
a Wrangler,
Ugh.
and he
That's
calls
the
it Jeep
rainbow
fingers.
sandals
Jeep
of
fingers.
cars.
Yes, yes. Jeep fingers, dude. I swear to God, we went up to Big Bear for like I don't know. You had to do something, and everyone that we passed, if you drive a Wrangler and you pass another person in a Wrangler, they do this.
Really?
To each other. And I didn't believe him. He kept saying, oh, this guy's going to do Jeep fingers. And I was like, you're such a loser. As you're going up the hill, and this guy literally like took his hat and he was like, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Do they tell you to do that at the dealership when you buy one?
I asked him that. I was like, do they tell you? Is this like a handbook? He was like, no, but if you have a Jeep, it's just like expected. He says he realized it one day when he was also driving like out of LA because every person he passed was like doing this. Or they wave, or they like, they literally like smile.
they're jeeping it classy.
Wow, it's like
Oh,
a whole
there's a good
club.
pun for the day. How about that?
Wow.
I
I was shocked.
people in Civics go like they kind of go like, do you not have any money? You okay?
You too?
You
I thought
too?
you were serious for
Bro.
a second.
You
I was
too?
like,
Do,
what?
do you
You
want
need
some
some
of my
help?
Oh, Chevys don't
leftovers?
do
Yeah.
anything.
We put Rosie in the Civic yesterday for the first time. And she fell right to sleep. So
Oh.
she used to go.
Right.
Amanda's got a little SUV, so she prefers that one. Plus, it has the mirror. You got to put a mirror back there so you can see your
See
kid's
the baby,
face.
yeah.
Right? I didn't have a mirror back there. Amanda's like, what am I supposed to do without the mirror? I was like,
Yeah.
put your phone back there. She was like, it's actually a pretty good
That'd
idea.
work.
Yeah. One time the mirror in
Oh.
my car fell down while I was driving, so I kept poking him to make sure. I literally was
think
like,
that's the-
Do
Harrison,
what you gotta do.
Harrison, And I would like literally poke him, and I'd be like poke him and put my hand down like that, and then just like wait for like a little toe move, and I'm like, oh my god, thank God.
God.
I need to get off this freeway.
Yeah.
I think that's but that's the proper thing is you just keep poking your kid. Like Amanda said, Rosie was freaking out a couple weeks ago, and she was just like driving with one hand, going like, "Stop it! Like
Yeah,
get better.
you do.
Love you." Like
Doing
rubbing.
this
Aw.
makes the world. Even on Harrison now.
Yeah.
Like if he's just screaming, I'll just start doing that on
Totally.
his back.
I
And
do
If
that
I'm
to
screaming,
Amanda,
if someone
too.
does that to me, I would stop screaming
It
as
is.
well.
It's
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
weird way. It's comforting.
Yeah, it is.
100%.
You know, really quick before we.
What?
Yeah.
This morning, you know what he said to me?
What'd
He
he
sits up. He comes to our bed a lot these days, and I'm like trying to like get him out of it. But he comes in the middle of the night, so usually I wake up and he's already in the bed, and I'm like, what the hell?
He's in a little sleep.
This
ninja.
morning
Oh.
he sits up. He goes, "Mommy, what are you doing up right now? It is so early." I go, "I have to go to work, Bubby." He goes, "It is way too early for you. I need you to get back into bed." Just for like, I swear to God, and
He said
it.
that?
He said it in this exact way. He goes, "It is way too early for you. I need you to get back into bed, just for like 5 minutes." In that exact like way, I was like laughing so hard. I
So
was-
cute.
And I was like, "Bubby, no, I gotta go to work." He's like, "Just 5 minutes. It's way too early."
Well, Harrison's like an adult in a
He
child's
is,
body.
He really is an adult. He speaks like an adult. It's crazy.
I'll never
It's-
forget when he pulled my keys out of my purse and he said Chevrolet, and I was like, "In my car is a Chevy."
Well, doesn't he love like logos and
Loves logos.
Yeah, but that was crazy. I was like, I don't even know my car's a Chevrolet.
Weren't you there the other day when I told you Harrison's favorite like brand is Jacoby and Myers because of all the signs? He's always like,
so funny.
he's always like, Jacoby and Myers, and I'm like,
we got to get
"Yes."
him on Sweet James Bergener. Those
Yes.
Sweet James
He
billboards.
doesn't like Sweet James Bergener.
Yeah.
He
Oh.
only likes Jacoby Myers because there's like new signs, you know. They have all those giant new billboards. They like
Yeah.
redid
Great.
them.
When I was a kid, there was companies, and I knew every theme song from like the commercials
Yeah.
on TV. And my dad would say something, and I'd be like, like Celino and Bonds, and I'd be in the back of the car like 6 years old, just like belting out the songs. And my dad was like, and what is going on? One time, my parents said that on the way to Philadelphia, because we had a family that lived in Philadelphia, for a 5-hour car trip, I didn't stop talking the entire time. I was
Oh,
like
God.
9, and like midway through, my dad just put in headphones.
Dude.
Dude, that was me though. That
Yeah.
was me.
Talk
I was
nonstop.
that
Non-stop
and that is
talking.
Harrison. Harrison never stops talking.
Yeah, I can't. I know. I
What you
like
get?
each. You embrace each phase of a child's life, but I can't wait to. Rosie says something like that, like just 5 more minutes, Dad. Just can chill with me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna cry.
Oh God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
She looked
Yeah.
at me yesterday. She smiles now, which is really fun. So like you do little things, and so she was on her little DocaTot or whatever. She was watching Amanda, and then my voice came into the picture, and she turned her head and looked, and she was like, and I was like,
oh my God.
God.
That and baby giggles, like I
Yeah.
can't
Oh, my God.
deal.
And baby sneezes.
Oh
too.
my
Oh my God.
Baby sneezes. You don't even realize like how amazing they are until you hear them. It's like not even a real. You're like, what the hell just happened?
So at 2 months, she doesn't have like complete control of her head, obviously yet.
Yeah.
So she'll be on my shoulder and she'll sneeze and just go like, "Hello," and then look at me like, "Hold
Scary.
on, did
Yeah. Yes.
did that happen?" Like she's so confused as to what is happening with her life. And then a couple weeks ago, she sneezed so hard she like hit my collarbone. And she popped up and she was like, she started to cry. And then I was like, no, it's okay. And then she sneezed again and hit it again. I was like, you need to stop it.
Why did you do that?
Stop
Their heads are so heavy and they don't have control over it. So when
No.
they sneeze, it like jerks around.
Totally.
Well, you know what's terrifying? At 2 weeks old, I was doing one of those little baby photo shoots, and I lifted my head. You know that picture I'm talking about? And
Yes.
the photographer and my mom and my grandma were like, "Demon baby!"
2 weeks old.
Like it's terrifying. I look like a year old at 2 weeks, full
Yes.
head of hair,
Yeah.
like this, and just stocky.
Yeah.
Like
she
it was
has
insane.
her whole
Let's
head
go.
is off the ground. Like
I know,
never
it
in a
was
million years has
creepy.
that happened. I
Yeah.
don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah.
That a baby has been able to do
Yeah.
that.
Can we get this? Where is this picture?
Oh, I'll send it to you.
I've seen it.
Do you
I
want to
will
email
send
it to? We can do it right now.
Yeah,
I will see. When she said,
Here, text it to
I
me.
was 2 weeks
then
old,
I'll
I was
put it.
like, no, you weren't. She's like, I'm dead
Straight
serious.
up.
I was 2 weeks old.
I started walking the day I turned 8 months old, and my mom and brother tried to ignore me because they were like, "If he figures it, don't worry about it. Like, don't." As I was already
Ignore
a
it.
crazy kid.
I walked
Yeah.
also. I walked before 9 months. My mom said.
My mom said that when I was a kid, I used to like go to the couch and just rip off the cushions before I could walk.
What?
Like that's because I was so angry that I couldn't like move around. So I would like pull off the cushions and then like walk around. I was just
Baby angst.
totally.
My mom said when I was a baby, I was in the hospital because I had like a really bad stomach flu, and she said I bit the IV out of my own arm.
Oh my God.
That's how I.
Are you the predator?
What in the world,
She
Sinead?
said that they like had to tape it, but you're a baby, so they have to like be
Yeah.
really careful. And I was a baby, and she said I just ripped it right out of my own arm, and the nurses were like, "Oh my God, get someone!"
And you're like, I still want it in my arm. I'm fine.
Sammy Leah Mendoza pops in, says, that's how my 10-year-old daughter is. I always ask her, do you ever stop talking, LOL? She just gives me a bad look and says, no. And then Trey T says, Josh's new experience with Rosie reminding me of my daughter 13 years ago. I'm not crying either.
Aw.
Oh.
Yeah, it's this parenting journey is quite amazing. Drew, get in on it.
You guys, I'm stepping right over here because I don't want any of that juju on me
Any
right
of that
now.
fertility?
None of that. Ooh. But I do love babies. I have baby fever constantly.
She always wants other people to have babies.
All the
Sure.
time. I'm like, please.
Have another one?
Someone's like, I missed my period. I'm like, did you? Did
Yeah.
you? Here it
I'm
is.
dead serious. She's like, "Oh, are you ready?
Yeah,
Are you ready to
right.
have another
Okay.
Ready for this picture?
Send it, text it to
I'll
me,
text it to you.
and then I'll email it to Ikaika.
It's a break the internet type of photo.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. You're a ginormous baby.
Huge baby.
Huge. I would tell you what, when Rosie popped out, she had a full head of hair, and I was like, whoa. And it's dark. I was a blonde kid. Amanda's a blonde
your
human.
the hair gets lighter. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, even
I
though
didn't.
I was born with like platinum blonde hair, and it
Really?
yes,
That's crazy.
Like,
Oh my
platinum
God.
blonde.
Like what? 2 weeks. 2 weeks,
Isn't that
dude.
insane?
Like I
It's
look
like you look
huge.
like a boxer.
My grandma was like, "That's a big baby."
Oh my
Like
God.
huge.
All right, hold on. I got
weren't
to
you
email
weren't
this.
you like a 10-pound baby though?
Yeah.
She was a 10-pound baby.
That my mom had to have a
10
C-section because my head was
Yeah.
so huge. Yeah, 10
yeah,
pounds.
The doctor's
man.
like,
They're like, you cannot push this baby out.
Oh
She's a year
my
old.
No, we did not sign up for this
Like,
today.
I'm surprised it didn't come out with teeth.
That's insane. A 10-pounder.
Ikaika, this is
Huge.
coming in hot. Okay.
I thought that, I thought that was like, for the longest time, I thought it was like a punchline in movies. Like,
No.
people being like,
I loved
the
you in
baby
Living
was so
Single.
big.
No, for real. Like, I look 21 years old
Mm.
at 2 weeks.
Just you guys wait. Just wait. I know this is like his bad TV when we're just talking about a picture you can't get to. Okay, Kashai, before we get to, do you have it up?
Yeah, I do.
Uh-oh.
Wow,
Here we go.
technology.
Watch this.
You guys ready for this? Like, how? How am I 2 weeks old?
Dude, I don't know, but you look like you straight up look like you're at
Did you?
least
Like 2.
like
You
like
know
a
the
year.
you know the
Like-
guy in Straight Outta Compton that is like managing the Dr. Dre band
That's
before
me.
That's you.
That's me. Like when I tell you, my mom said the photographer, and my grandma freaked out. They were like, "What the hell?" Because why? So creepy. 2 weeks
Oh
old.
my god.
Why was I, a year old?
I love that like it was while the photographer was like taking the picture too, and you're
Yes.
just like
Boom. Like I would have been
Holy
like
moly.
exorcism.
That is
10-pound baby.
that
That is
is-
wild.
That's a
I
big
know.
baby.
It's a big baby.
That's a big baby. I got it. My buddy T-Bob Hebert. He lives in. He played football at LSU. He's the voice of LSU football in Baton Rouge.
Mhm.
His sister owns Show Me Your Moo.
Oh.
Yeah, Cammy.
Cool.
Ooh.
And so T-Bob, they call him Super Baby because like he came out. He was like an offensive tackle at age 1, and his dad has this thick Cajun accent. He was like, "Well, when T-Bob come out, he was Super Baby." So now I have a new
God.
Super Baby.
Oh, we're
Drew
from the
Dorsey.
same planet.
Super Baby. I mean, could you imagine the kids? T-Bob's already married with 2 kids, but man,
T-Bob.
T-Bob. So in Cajun, hold on. So,
It like sounds like that's
he's
like,
amazing. It's one of the
I
best
was
things.
like,
but
this
His
is
baby.
the most Louisiana thing
Yes.
ever.
I love
in
it. I love it.
Cajun, or Creole, the T. It's T dash Bob. Is
Oh, wait,
Bobby
I know-
Jr.
Yes, that's right. I did know
I
this.
love that.
So like
I
instead
love
of
it.
Junior, it's T dash Bob.
Yes, I
right?
did know that was a thing. Someone
Because
told me
his dad's
that.
Bob.
Right,
Yes,
right.
somebody told me
Yeah.
that recently. They were like, you know that in Creole, that's how
Yeah,
they do it. And
I
I was
think
like,
I
oh my
told you that,
god, maybe it was.
I think
was
I-
it you?
I'm an
I was like-
information
Be knowing
encyclopedia.
stuff.
That makes sense because there's a lot of like tea whatevers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I
T
love
Bob,
it.
he's the best. I think he's gonna be on Josh Birdie next week with Dylan Sanders.
What's it? You said T-Bob. What's the rest of it?
A Bear,
Dude, that is
T Bob A Bear,
put it on a marquee.
legend. And the guy is, he's 6'3", 6'4", something like that. Solid 2. I mean, he was 300 in college to play offensive tackle. He's
Jeez.
like 240 now, maybe 230. He can do full split in yoga.
What?
He does broga, as they call it, in down in Baton Rouge. He can do a full split. Go to his Instagram, T Bob A Bear. It's unbelievable.
Damn.
Yeah, and he's been like, he can dance like you wouldn't. It's awesome.
Sounds like a good time.
You guys want to do a dad joke of the day?
Please.
Yeah, of
You
course.
want to do one? Hit it, Ikaika. There it is.
Oh my god! That is so cute.
You guys like that one? Okay, this is a singing
so
one.
cute.
Are you ready?
Did you see how cute she was?
She's
Just
Drew. You
look
can
at
come
it.
over and babysit anytime. You both can come over and
Please.
hang out
I
whenever.
love babies.
She's the sweetest little kid. She loves, hang out, read her book, talk to her about anything. She's sweet.
Oh.
She listens.
She listens. She's a really good listener.
Itty bitty.
Okay, so my wife asked me to stop singing Wonderwall. So I said, maybe.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, I usually really like dad jokes.
But see, I can turn off anybody to dad jokes. Wait. Here we go. Here we go. Drew, you ready? Why are elevator jokes so classic and good?
Why?
They work on many levels.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that
yes,
one.
we're back.
I like
we
that
got
one.
it. We got it. All right.
It's like, nope. That one I can work with.
The first time I had Sinead on Drew, I was like, get it? And she's like, I get it. Stop saying the joke over and over again.
I was like, I don't. Just because I'm not laughing does not mean I do not understand.
She's like, I just don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yep,
The
yep.
Oh, my dad has always been like that person,
Big dad
you know.
joke guy.
And then he says the dad joke, and then he's the only one that laughs.
That's like me. I laugh at
he's
my own jokes all the time.
He laughs at his own jokes all the time, and it just makes it like way funnier. You
Totally.
know?
It's the best way to live.
My dad worked in a car dealership for like his entire life. He'd come home and be like, I heard a good one. You want to hear it? And I'm like, oh, Dad, that's a rough one. He's like, no. Listen to it again. Let me tell it to you again.
It's funnier
And
the second
it's
time.
funnier and he's just giggling. He would call me in college on the phone. He's like, you got a minute?
Dude, I respect that. I'm the type of person who will say a joke, and if no one laughs, I assume they just didn't hear it.
You just don't get it.
And no, so I say it again till
Dum-dums.
I'm like, oh, did you guys hear me?
I know this one was funny.
Come on.
Right.
Ikaika, let's do some videos that make me smile and get the hell out of here.
Yay.
Oh, this is so cute. I can't get over it.
All right, watch this. We're talking about gymnastics. Watch this first flip. I do a lot of flipping videos in here. Well, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Wait, what?
Okay, it's not a trampoline either.
What?
Then watch him go back.
It's one
Yeah,
of
it
those
is.
like. It's not a trampoline though.
It's a
just
bouncy
like a
floor, but
spring?
still, it's like watch the first flip. It's
Yeah.
insanity.
He like jumped out of.
Flip.
No,
That's
that
like-
looks like someone has like a string on his feet.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like
What?
crazy calf muscles.
No, but what? How is that like?
Well,
Like-
because look at the way he pushes off. Look at the back of his legs, like his calves. He's literally like, yeah, he
No.
pushes himself up because it is like a spring floor. It's a springboard floor in gymnastics. What they do like floor routines on.
Yeah.
So it definitely has some sort
spring,
of spring,
but
but
still,
it's not a trampoline.
no.
I just realized like how inadequate like my body
Uh-huh,
is. You know, like
Every time I watch it,
What?
I mean, this guy's sort of like that first time you saw like Iron Man flip like from the ground or like
right?
you know,
Like
like the whole. That's a Hulk jump.
I can barely touch my toes.
It's tough, I will say. All right, let's do another one.
Jeez.
Wait.
Also, his glute muscles
Yeah.
are like insane.
The guy's an actual.
Oh
super.
wait,
Did
go
you watch this?
Wait, that go back really quick.
Go back, Ikaika. Sorry.
I'm gonna debunk this for you guys. Look at the comment. It says, "Oh wait, it's reversed."
No, it's not.
Oh,
That
'cause
makes
it looks
so
reversed.
much more sense.
It looks. I was like, how is that even
Yes,
possible?
it's reversed. They reversed the video.
No, it's definitely reversed.
No.
Yeah,
Did I
it's
just
like-
get fooled?
Yeah,
Look,
yeah, because
yeah,
I was like,
you can't
that's
trust anything on TikTok.
Look
Josh.
at the clapping too.
The clapping.
not of the people in the
It
audience.
just looks like the motion. Like the hand
Yeah.
was like. "Meow."
Dang it.
Because like physics wise,
Yeah, who,
that's not
who claps
possible.
before the jump? Wow, I was really trying to stand up for that guy too. I was like,
Damn.
his legs.
When he comes back, that's when it's really more obvious.
Red is not a flavor. It's popped in.
Mhm.
That's going backwards. Dang it.
Damn.
I thought it was still cool.
It is too
It is so cool.
Yonk.
Smart though, really smart.
Yeah, because it really looked convincing.
It does. All right, watch this sweet old man. Did you watch that? Watch this again.
Wait, what?
I was at the park and a man in his 70s flipped off the swing. He's been doing gymnastics for years and he still has it. Boom.
Oh, that is
70-year-old
so
man.
adorable.
Oh my god, I love it.
My dad complained about walking 9 holes last week. This guy's doing flips off swing.
And also the fact that he's just like at a park on a swing is
Boom.
so adorable.
He
I
stuck
know.
the landing too.
I love swings.
Was he
Me
there alone
too.
though? Because I can't handle that.
I mean,
But it's like how happy he
what do you mean?
is.
He's alone, like as in sad that he's alone?
No, like I just don't like seeing like mostly men, older men.
Oh, at a,
Alone at a
at a
park.
by
park?
themselves.
No, that's, yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I saw one guy at Steak and Shake one time, and I was so upset about it. And my sister was like, maybe he wanted to eat by himself, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I still think about it all the time. There was this place in Pittsburgh. It was called like I don't know, Wing Fling, something like that. It was like a restaurant. I remember being like 11 years old and seeing this man sitting at a table in the bar alone, just eating chips and salsa, and I started crying.
Yeah, that's
And
how
my
I
mom
was.
was like-
I started crying.
Mom was like, "What?" And I was like, "That poor man's alone. Should we invite him to our table?" And Mom was like, "No, maybe he wants to be alone." And I was like,
Probably.
"Are you sure?"
I thought you were gonna say you thought it was creepy that there's like a dude alone at a
No,
kid's
I felt
park.
so bad for the man. I always wanted to be friends with everybody.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
always felt bad for old
See?
men by themselves.
Oh,
But he looks like he's having a great time.
He looks like he's having a great
crushing it.
time.
He comes home. His wife's like, "What'd you do?" He's like, "Did a flip off a swing and it picked up my plastic bag full of fruit."
Right. Full of fruit.
I don't know what's in there.
It's like 40s.
Old people are always carrying
Imagine.
plastic bags full of stuff.
He just like takes a 40, he
40s.
like knocks it against the swing, starts chugging it.
It's more nimble than Ken.
So funny.
More nimble than Ken. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, let's do. We got a couple more.
Yeah,
Wait,
3
I
more.
love these.
3 more. Yeah. Watch this. This little boy hugs this police officer, and then they give him knuckles. Right?
Yo.
Come on.
Oh my god, that little kid is so cute.
So cute. Wants to give the guy a hug. This is the kind of stuff that makes me cry. All of it. See? Little 10-second video to brighten up your day.
Oh.
I love that.
Not all cops are bad. I understand that the bad ones are really in the news all of the time, but there are cops out there that are trying to be good people. And this one is one of them. And this little kid is crushing it.
Where is this?
I do not know. Looks like LA. But all restaurants I don't.
Look the same.
All right, let's do 2 more.
Oh, you're her boyfriend. She didn't tell me she had a boyfriend.
Watch this.
Oh
Oh
my
my god.
Yeah, this is Eliza's dad.
Funny.
Oh, you're her boyfriend.
Look at her little face change.
She didn't tell me she had a boyfriend.
Oh, crap.
It's like she like fully.
Oh,
She was
son
like,
of a...
I've been found out.
Dude,
I
kids
thought
are
it-
like
Yeah, this is
adults,
awesome,
man.
man.
They know stuff.
Oh, you're her boyfriend.
That is amazing.
She didn't tell me she had a boyfriend.
Like the eye roll.
the eye roll and everything.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, all right, let's do one more, Kaika.
Dog's favorite word and record their reaction.
So shiny. Oh my god. I
Whisper
heard
your
him say
dog's
Joaquin
favorite
like
word
Phoenix.
and
Like
record
Joaquin
their
Phoenix.
reaction.
Walkie, like, wanna go for a walk?
Oh.
Dude, dogs really
God.
do that. They really do that. That's so funny.
Oh,
Human
man.
eyes.
Yeah, like
Just the
we
best.
it's like having a kid with dogs. You know, you have to spell it. Once they get to know the words, you do have to spell it. You're like
Yeah.
WALK.
Treat.
And then
Yeah,
all of a sudden they can start
yeah.
smelling. They can start spelling things. And my little nephew's like, "We're going to a football game?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ah,
Dude,
son
I
of a..."
was at Ace with Harrison the other day, and he goes, "Oh, I know you're gonna buy a succulent," and I was
What?
like, "You stop it right now!" It was
We
so,
had a good thing going.
it was so devastating.
See?
Nils looked at me, he was like,
Oh, it's over for you now. He
Yeah.
knows what succulent is and how to
Yeah.
and
spell
he
it.
knows square roots. We still haven't figured out who taught him that
Whoa.
one.
Wait, what?
That had to be a.
I thought it was a fluke. I thought he had memorized it because he was like, the square root of whatever 4 is 2, and you just kept saying them, and I was like,
No,
okay.
That's a baby genius.
And I go,
Yeah.
what's the square root of 25? And he goes, 5. And
Oh
I
my
go,
God.
I go inside. It goes, did you teach him this? And Nils is like, no. I call my mom, my dad, and I was like, Dad, did you teach him this? My dad goes, he asked me what it meant, but I stopped at 9. And I go, okay. And I go, Harrison,
Do you have
what's
a
this-
genius?
yeah.
Should we get this kid in like math league? or
Remember the
something?
Chevrolet?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I go, maybe he memorized them all. And I'm like, what's the square root of like 10,000 or something? And he goes, 100.
What?
And Nils was like, oh my God.
You have a baby genius.
I swear to
This
God,
is
though, you
we've
guys,
just
I
stumbled
think,
upon something.
I
here.
think he has the most, I think his memory is unbelievable. Like once you say a word, he will remember it. Once he sees a logo, he'll remember it. Like he's just like that. Like I don't even know if he truly
That's
understands
insane.
things.
I think you need to
he
go
has,
to
like,
one
a-
of those genius
like a
places and test
photographic
them.
memory.
Or
No,
something.
seriously. He also pulled a bag of cereal out of my bag and said, Kellogg's. Like, what? An adult wouldn't even know that, you know? Like, I was so freaked out.
I swear, I think he has a photographic memory because I don't even know if he truly understands these things. Also, I don't know if the square root of 10,000 is 100. So
I
if
think
it was,
it is.
don't
100
at me,
times
all right?
100, right? That's 10,000.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
But it
just,
was
like,
something like
assumed.
ridiculous. It was something. I was like 10,000, and he was like 100.
Let me just do a quick calculator
I
here.
was not good at math. Were you good
Let's
at
see if
math?
I was
Sinead.
really
No.
bad at it. I was geometry. Oh,
Yeah,
almost
10,000.
ruined my life.
I got a C in geometry. I know
So
that
did
because
I.
my 5-year-old taught me.
Yeah.
That's how I knew the answer to that. It's because my 5-year-old taught me.
Sinead DeFries, everybody.
Dude,
Just
it's
crushing it.
wild. Maybe I should. Maybe once I get my second vaccine, I could set up all his Einstein appointments.
Boom. Like I'm telling you,
should.
that you take them to those so that they're put in class. Like, so, you know, I don't know, like there's gifted classes. I never could do them.
Me neither.
You know, I mean, hell, AP Calculus in high school, I don't know why I took that class. I'm a total
I
dum-dum.
didn't even make it to regular calculus.
It's
I had to
so
I had to cheat
hard.
off Leanne Cedar for like all of the tests. I was like, hold up the test. Show the work, goddammit.
I love when people quote people from the past, but they say their first
Their
and last
first
name.
because you know those people in high school that were always referred to by their first
Totally.
and last name.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, it's amazing.
They're like I think that because the only thing I had in my life was my kindness, okay? So I'd be nice to everybody just in case. Like Matt Sci 81 in college, there was this girl in front of me. Her name was Allie Handler, okay? And Allie, I would be like, Allie, I'm pledging. I don't have any time to study. Can you just hold up your test? We have the same test. She's like, oh, sure, no problem. Just hold it up at the end of the test. Da-da-da-da. I got a B+ in Matt Sci 81.
Wow.
Thanks, all thanks to Allie Handler.
That's impressive.
I don't know where she is now, but thank you, Allie. You're
Shout out
fantastic.
to Allie, man.
Right on.
Right.
Shout out to Drew Dorsey. Drew, thanks for coming in. Thanks for making the trip.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Please come back anytime. I will
Yay.
continue to text
Can you
you.
bring your baby?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. You can bring the baby.
I'll hold the
Yeah.
baby the whole time.
If you want, again, Sinead's usually here every Thursday, so I can start a little group thread with us, and if you want to come,
Fine. No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's do
I
it.
thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
Honestly, like I just like being in your presence. I don't get out of my house much.
I was so excited. I had no idea Drew was going to be here in
Yeah.
person
boom,
today. No one told me.
shakalaka. And then maybe the next time we'll bring Andrew Freed in as well. We can do, I'll stand up there at the bar, and then you three can.
We should really truly do a pitch. We should pitch some shows to him.
Agreed.
I'm
Yeah.
serious. I was really into the swim show. The way you pitched it about underwater.
Being silent.
Silent
Yeah, I
all
like
the
that.
time.
Except it did give me like immediate like heart palpitations.
Oh, I know.
Same.
Yeah, it's. I will tell you, like, I was one of maybe like 4 All-Americans at my high school, and nobody knew it because we were swimmers, and nobody paid attention. I went to a football high school, so nobody knew. Like, we didn't win a district playoff game. The whole school was like in mourning, and then they'd be on the like special congratulations to Brian Seymour and Josh Macuga on their All-American status, and it was like, oh, good job, man. What do you do again? What was that?
Wait, what?
Our football team sucked, but our high school had like 4 Grammys by the time I graduated.
That's insanity.
That is
what?
so cool.
I mean,
But
yeah.
our football team, we didn't even win the homecoming game. And they pay
Damn.
people to come so you can beat them.
Yeah.
And we didn't even win that
Get the
one.
crappy school for homecoming. Everybody knows the rules.
By like a
Couldn't
fluke.
do it.
Like
Yeah.
our team messed up so bad that the other team couldn't even lose on purpose for us.
Damn.
See?
Yeah, it was embarrassing. It was
Yeah.
really embarrassing.
Yeah, but swimming is like the kind of sport that it exhausts you to the point where, like, I was on a local news channel when I was a senior in high school, and then local news guy was like, hey, so where are you thinking about swimming in college? I was like, I'm not swimming in college. And after it cut, my dad's like, are you an idiot? That's how we get you into school for free, you stupid dummy. And I was like, oh, man, Dad, I don't want to keep swimming. I've been swimming every day since I was 8 years old. He's like, till you're 22, and then you can be done. And your mom don't have to pay for college. Thank God I went to a state school. Because it was cheap back then. My dad was not happy. Like, the old man was the best. Like, I love my dad to a point, but like when he would freak out, it was rare, but it was always with me. Like, my brother did nothing bad his whole life. My brother's got 4 kids, really good job, lives in Northern California, living the dream. I'm down here. I'm like, Dad, I host a game show in a small studio in Burbank. Are you ready for
This
it?
is impressive, Dad. Okay. This studio's really cool.
Drew likes it.
I don't think you guys understand. I walked in here and I was like, Josh, this is like graduation.
It's like legit.
It's
Thank you.
so legit
There's
in here.
there's like real people also in this building.
There
you
is.
know?
Yeah.
Lights and there's like wires and there's a monitor.
It's not like previous establishments we've worked where there were seedy people all around us at all times.
Always, yes. Or the last show that I hosted where you guys had to come to my apartment.
Which was
Yeah,
still
I-
very
yeah.
impressive,
Oh,
the
Yeah.
setup.
Thank you. Oh, I
But
appreciate
yeah,
that.
this is like legit. Like there's like people like doctoring on this floor.
I know. It's either healthcare or Shark Week and this studio.
The
Like,
elevator is very nice.
It is. It's got a really nice mirror.
I'm serious.
guys, too complimentary. Last comment. Red is not a flavor in chat says, I love Drew's large hoop earrings. Yes.
Oh,
They're fantastic. And I do have to give Drew a shout out too. And I love you both very much. Again, Drew, you're welcome anytime. Sinead knows she's welcome. Drew, I might start crying.
Oh my God.
I have a little niece. Her name is Peyton.
Aw.
And she's the most adorable thing on the planet. And she has very big, unruly hair. And I noticed that Drew, about, what, it was like 2 or 3 months ago when you took the dreads out?
Yeah.
And you went. And so I said, Drew, can you please help me with my niece? She has like a lot of trouble with her hair. And she doesn't like showering and combing. And my niece is mixed race. And so my sister-in-law, who's white, does not know how to deal with the hair. They have no idea. And so Drew was kind enough to reach out and help her with some hair routines. And it just brightened up the entire family. So thank you very much.
God. I'm so happy to do stuff like that, dude. Like, honestly, like, no problem at all.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
Drew
it's
Dorsey.
really sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
Drew Dorsey, Sinead DeFries, and Josh Macuga. That's Ikaika Shively, the Prince of the Islands.
Yakaika.
Ikaika
that is
Shively.
the coolest name.
I know.
Ikaika.
Ikaika.
That is so dope.
I know. IKA. Prince of the Islands, the Wine Hunk, the Great Hunkino, the Sultan of Swarth. He's got a lot of nicknames. I just keep making them up as they go along.
From Sandlot, he's like,
Yes.
the Colossus of Clouds.
That's exactly where it started. I said the Colossus of Clouds, and that one's not sticking as well. Because, like, Hawaii has a lot of clouds, like really nice clouds. Here's the best part, is he only lived in Hawaii for like 4 years. He was born and raised in San Jose.
Wait,
Were you
no.
really?
But his family is Hawaiian. His
Yeah.
family is
Okay,
Hawaiian. He
okay,
comes
okay,
from
okay.
Hawaiian, a Hawaiian family.
He's born and raised in San Jose.
Yeah.
Right. Just leave that part out when you tell people.
It's like
where
the
you're
scene
from.
in Forrest Gump. Like, Dallas, he was from Cleveland. And like, it's, wait, what? Am I messed up there?
Oh, man.
It's like one time Drew asked me what they were saying at the beginning of
Circle of Life.
Circle of Life.
I was like, Shane, what are they
He's like,
saying?
what
at
are
the
they
beginning?
saying? And I just
Why,
looked at
because
her,
you're
I
from
was
Africa?
I figured it was fine when I said it because I'm black.
like, It was. We laughed our asses off.
shit.
I literally looked at her. I was like, what?
I also legitimately seriously asked if I could borrow a spear for my Black Panther costume, and
Yeah.
she had them. She just
Yes.
It does, but she did. We couldn't get them because they were like in storage or something.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And
Listen.
she was like
Listen.
joking. I was like, no, we
No,
got
no,
those.
we have spears. Yeah, for sure.
African art, man. You
Yeah.
gotta have African art when you're from Africa.
Well, duh. It's like
I love it.
it's like Italian people. You know what our art is? A picture of Frank Sinatra. And it's like right
Exactly.
here. I get you.
Exactly.
Yep.
You got it. It's just in
Know your
storage.
sources.
Know your sources. Thank you all for tuning in today. It's a Thursday. Tomorrow on the show, Claire Lim will be back. Mark Ellis will be back. Josh Brady tomorrow. Luke Eldon and his girlfriend Lauren, all the way from the UK, the Battle of Britain. And then we have another Josh Brady doubleheader on Friday. Zach Myers and Eric Bass from Shinedown will be, again, virtually here. And here's the thing. Sinead has already won a game of Josh Brady. Drew has never been on a show.
Haven't.
Listen, it's not trivia. Sinead?
It's not.
It's not trivia. It's the easiest. It's the fastest game show on the internet. Is our tagline. It's not about right or wrong answers, Drew. It's only about correct ones. So think about that.
I like that.
See,
It means nothing.
it means absolutely
loophole.
nothing.
Yeah.
I'll do living single only trivia.
I might not even know all that.
You don't even have to know anything. It's literally what Josh says is the right answer.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
love
It's a
that.
lot
And
of
it'll be
based
like,
on my
who is the
opinion.
best character? Like
Yeah.
that.
That's
Exactly.
something I would do.
Yeah. See.
And you're like, what?
Jeopardy.
Like, is this a trick question? He's like, no, who is the best? This is the question. Who is
That's the
it?
question. It's an
You have
either
to
or
get it right.
situation. It's
And
all.
then you'll be like, you'll say your favorite character. He's like, ooh, sorry.
No, sorry, we're
Like,
looking for
no,
Monica.
That's not
Ah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like how my
it.
brain works.
Love you all. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for all the support. Special thanks to Andrew Freed as well for being here on the show, but we're going to bring him in person next time. Just one of the best all around. If you guys have never watched Last Chance U, We Are Freestyle Love Supreme, Chef's Table, Cheer, any of those shows that Andrew's Boardwalk Pictures is responsible for, check them out because they're amazing, amazing content. Remember, every day you choose positivity. It's an active choice. I promise you, your life will be so much better if you just wake up and choose it. It's way easier to love than hate. Find the good. We'll see you tomorrow.